Good evening and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mir. Here we are on day 263, and I'm starting the story of the slave girl, Anis al-Jalis, and Nur al-Din Ali ibn Khaqan. Now, it turns out in the city of Basra, there was once a king, a sultan, who was loved by all of his people because he was so generous. He was wealthy, had plenty, was very affluent, and he loved to share his affluence with everyone that he could. Everyone. And so the people loved him, and they would do anything for him. And he ruled Basra in the most benevolent of ways. So he had one favor with everyone. Now there were poems and beautiful songs written about him. But you can imagine what it would be like to have someone in a position of power that was actually generous with the people, made sure everyone in the kingdom was happy. Now it turned out his name was Muhammad ibn Salman al-Zimabi. And he happened to have two viziers, one who was not very nice. In fact, you could say he was quite mean. His name, Mawin ibn Sawi, and the other, Fadl al-Din ibn Khaqan. Now you might imagine from the title of the story that this Nur al-Din Ali ibn Khaqan must, or maybe, will have something to do with this other, Fadl al-Din ibn Khaqan. It turns out that the Sultan, Muhammad ibn Salman de Zimabi, well, he came into his court one day, and he wished for one thing. He wished to have brought to him a slave girl that was not only beautiful, but intelligent, poised, graceful, trained in all of the important arts, able to speak, able to quote from literature, able to do mathematics and be well-versed in the sciences and in history, mannerly and kind. He said, "Find me," to Fadl al-Din. He told him, "Find me a woman like this. Find me a slave girl like this." Well, when the court heard that he was wishing for such a thing, they supported him, but said, "You will not find a girl like this for less than 10,000 gold dinars. Well, Muhammad immediately replied, then call the treasurer." So the treasurer was called for, and he immediately said, "Give to Fadl al-Din 10,000 gold dinars, so that he may find me a slave girl, which is appropriate for my wishes." So the treasurer counted out 10,000 gold dinars and placed this in the possession of Fadl al-Din ibn Khaqan. It's a large sum of money. Fadl al-Din, as had the other vizier, been given a beautiful palace very near Muhammad's and within the compound, so transporting the money home was not truly a problem. When he got there, he placed it in a safe place. And he immediately went down to the brokers, those who sold the slaves, and he let them know what he was looking for. And he informed them that any woman who was worth 10,000 gold dinars or more, well, they needed to show him and call for him so that he could see if it would be the right woman for Muhammad, the Sultan. Now, day after day, he would go down to the brokers to see if there was any news, any new woman that had been brought in. But none arrived. Each day he went there in vain, but he was committed to finding for Muhammad the right woman. One day, he had been there for some time, watching, waiting. No one seemed to be coming forth with anyone who would fit the bill. So he went to his horse, and placing his foot in the stirrup, he swung himself into the saddle, pulled the reins tight, was just about to tighten his feet around the horse's belly to move it forward, when someone reached out and grabbed his stirrup, pulled upon it. He said, "I think I have what you're looking for." "Ah," said Fadl al-Din. "Then bring her, let me see." So he dismounted, he tied his horse back up, and he went into this broker's tent. Very soon a woman arrived, and it was indeed a beautiful, beautiful woman, one that poetry would be written about, one that would liken her to the moon and to the graceful elegance of a deer or an antelope, to the batting dark eyes, to beautiful, beautiful breasts and delicate body with a thin waist and perfect hips, beautiful hair, rosy lips, and all those things that make a woman beautiful. But Fadl al-Din asked, "And how was she trained?" Well, immediately the broker brought forth a lute, and the woman played and sang in the most beautiful ways with the most beautiful voice. And then he asked, "And training? What does she know?" And so it was told that she knew everything that, well, a well-educated person would know, and perhaps more. First in history, mathematics, the sciences. She knew how to, well, come into a room with elegance and grace, to speak in a way that was intelligent and informed. Fadl al-Din said, "Great. And her price?" "Let me get her owner," said the broker. So the broker went off, and he came back with a very old and wizened Persian man. A man that, what it was, he could have been blown away by the breeze, is what he looked like. A man that had once been a vigorous man, but old age having overtaken him, there was not much left. Fadl al-Din asked, "And the price?" "The price? What can you pay?" he said. "I can pay 10,000 gold dinars." "That is the price," he said. "And who is she for?" "She's for the Sultan himself, Muhammad." "Ah, if it is for Muhammad, then I cannot even ask anything. For I am, well, honored just to gift her to you." "Ah, that is not necessary," said Fadl al-Din. This money is yours, and well-deserved it is. So the money was exchanged. It was counted and exchanged, given to the old man, which you can imagine would take care of him for quite some time. Falaluddin was ready to go off with his new possession, this new woman, for the Sultan, when the broker stopped him and said, "Can I give you a piece of advice?" Falaluddin said, "Of course. What is it?" He said, "I would advise you, because this woman, this fair lady, has just traveled from afar and just arrived this very morning, I would wait a bit to present her to the Sultan, for she is a bit lost, a bit out of herself from her journey. After 15 days or a month, take her to the baths and then prepare her, but give her this time to recover herself. In this way, it will benefit you." Falaluddin found that this advice was good advice, and so he made his way home, and he had this woman, this beautiful woman, Anis al-Jalis, placed in a room in his palace. Now, he said something to her before he had her enter this room, these rooms that he had prepared for her. But I will wait to tell you tomorrow, as Scheherazade did, to find out what her instructions were. All right, thanks for joining. Have a good rest of your day.